Picture this. You're standing in a hospital room, staring into the eyes of the man who abandoned you as a kid, who called you a waste. He's begging for your help to save his life. And you smile and walk away. This is the story of how I served ice-cold revenge to my deadbeat dad, and it felt so good. Stick around for one of the most satisfying payback stories you'll ever hear. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who was supposed to love you, or if you've dreamed of making them feel the sting of their own actions, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into a Reddit revenge story that'll leave you cheering. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Imagine being 6 years old, sitting by the window with a tiny suitcase packed, waiting for your dad to pick you up for the weekend. You're buzzing with excitement, picturing ice cream, park trips, maybe even a hug. Hours pass. The sun sets. Your mom gently says, "Maybe next time, sweetie." But next time never comes. That was my life. My name's Alex. Well, let's call me that for this story. My parents split when I was in first grade, and my dad pulled a Houdini. Poof, gone. Not just physically, he stole my mom's ATM card and drained her bank account, leaving her scrambling to keep a roof over our heads. She was a saint, though. Never said a bad word about him. Kept his image shiny in my eyes like he was still some kind of hero. Through elementary school, I clung to that image. Dad was the guy who'd show up one day, right? But his visits were rare, 1 or 2 a year. If I was lucky, most times I'd wait by that window, heart racing, only to feel it sink when he didn't show. My little suitcase gathered dust. By 5th grade, I stopped packing it. But I still believed in him. Kids are stubborn like that, my mom. She was. My rock. Worked 2 jobs, made sure I had clothes, food, love. Never once trashed my dad. Even when he dodged child support by using his father's social security number, same name, shady trick. She just kept going, shielding me from the truth. Things changed when I was in 6th grade. Mom remarried a kind, steady guy, my stepdad. Suddenly, my dad, who barely remembered I existed, lost it. He had this old photo of me at 8 months in his wallet, like some trophy of fatherhood he never earned. But when Mom moved on, he decided I was her problem now. Or more accurately, my stepdad's. He cut me off completely. No calls, no visits, nothing. I was 11, trying to understand why my hero didn't want me anymore. My stepdad stepped up, coached my soccer games, helped with homework. But there was still this hole where my dad was supposed to be. Fast forward to high school graduation. I'm 18, crossing the stage, scanning the crowd for a familiar face that isn't there. No card, no call, no dad. Instead, I get an email. And let me tell you, it wasn't a congrats kid message. It was a venomous rant. He thanked God. He was free of child support, mind you. He never paid it. Then he tore into my mom. Her weight, her looks, her teeth, cruel, petty jabs, and me. He blamed every flaw he saw in me on her, called me a waste. I sat there, staring at my laptop, feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. For the first time, I saw him for what he was, a coward. A man who'd rather cheer down his own kid than face his failures. I fired back, words dripping with years of hurt. His reply, "You're no child of mine." That was it. I vowed I'd make him pay, not with fists, but with something sharper. 10 years passed. I built a life, God. Married to an amazing partner, had a son. My dad, nowhere to be found. No interest in my wedding, my kid, nothing. I reached out a few times, invited him to my graduation, my wedding, sent a photo of his grandson. All I got back were pictures of his new wife's kids. Like I was some distant cousin he barely remembered. Then, out of the blue, an email. My dad was sick, diabetic, organ failing, not long to live. He was too far down the transplant list, and he needed a family member to donate. Guess who he remembered? Me, the kid he forgot existed. At first, I was livid. The nerve of this man, crawling back only when he needed something. But then a cold, calculated thought hit me. This was my chance, not to help him, to hurt him the way he hurt me. I could make him feel the sting of abandonment, the way I did by that window all those years ago. I replied to his email, all warmth and forgiveness. Dad, let's put the past behind us. I'll get tested. I met him in person, stomach churning as I forced a smile. He looked frail, older than I remembered, but his eyes still had that smug glint, like he thought he'd won me over. I went through the motions. Got tested, turns out I was a match. 0, even sat in on his counseling at his request. That's when I heard the truth straight from his mouth. In therapy, he admitted he only reached out because his new wife reminded him I existed. He'd forgotten me like I was some old pair of boots in the back of a closet. Now I was his lifeline, his ticket to keep mooching off the world. Do you know what it feels like to hear the man who gave you life say he forgot you? My blood boiled, but I kept my face neutral. I nodded, played the dutiful son. We scheduled the surgery. I let him believe I was his savior, let him hope, let him plan for a future he didn't deserve. The day of the surgery arrived. We met at the hospital, him in a gown, IVs already hooked up. I could see the relief in his eyes, the arrogance creeping back like he'd pulled one over on me again. I leaned in close, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "You know, Dad, I just wanted you to understand something. You're no father to me, and you're a waste." His face crumpled confusion, then panic as the words sank in. I told him I wasn't going through with it. I watched the hope drain from his eyes, the same way mine did every time he left me waiting. Then I turned, walked out of that hospital room, and didn't look back. Driving home, I felt free, like I'd finally shed the weight of his betrayal. For once, he was the one left waiting, wondering, powerless. Was it harsh? Maybe. My mom thought I took it too far, and part of me wonders if she's right. But this wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming my worth. He made me feel like nothing, but walking away that day, I knew I was more than his shadow. Sometimes justice isn't about forgiveness. It's about standing up for the kid who waited by the window, suitcase in hand, and saying, "You don't get to hurt me anymore." If this story gave you that sweet taste of justice, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the most epic revenge you've ever pulled or wished you could? Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another Reddit revenge story like this. Let's keep the karma flowing. See you in the next one.